Learning from failure is something that's really, really, really important. And a lot of times people may feel as though it is something that they need to avoid at all costs. But what if I told you that failure can be one of our greatest teachers? How can we shift our perspective to see failure not as a setback, but as a stepping stone to success? Hi, if you don't know me, I am Barika from Simply Unique Coaching, and I have been leading for more than 15 years. I've led more than 18 teams, and I like to say that I am the leader who learned in the trenches. And in today's video, we're going to talk about how to learn from failure. In this video, I'm also going to share with you some strategies to help you turn setbacks into opportunities for growth. And as a bonus, I will share with you how to help your team members move forward whenever they encounter failure. So first, let's talk about why it is important to learn from failure. Well, the first reason is that failure builds resilience. And experiencing failure can help us develop resilience and the ability to bounce back from challenges. So failure can definitely help build that resilience, help us to build up our tenacity, our ability to bounce back. Because sometimes people think that it might be a loving thing to kind of protect people from failure, but actually the more kind of like safe guided failure that you experience when you're younger, the more resilient you can be once you overcome. And people who tend to not be able to experience failure and recover from it early on, they tend to struggle later on in life. And so we want to make sure that we are mentally tough and that we don't fall apart at the first sign of resistance. And I really want you to take a moment to think about a time when you faced a significant setback and how did you handle that? And what did you learn about your own strength and perseverance from overcoming that particular obstacle? And the second reason that learning from failure is important is that it helps provide us with valuable feedback. And there are some things that we can encounter and we can think like, oh man, this is going to be the best idea. This is going to go great. This is going to be wonderful. And then when we don't succeed at it, at that time, then we learn some information and maybe we need to change something. Maybe we need to tweak something. Maybe we need to do something a little bit differently. And so in making the changes that we need to make, then we're able to adjust and we just take it as a lesson learned. That's how I take it, just a lesson learned. Also, failure can encourage innovation. And so one of the things that we can look at is whenever we fail at something or whenever we experience failure of some sort, it kind of gives us an opportunity to take a step back and say, okay, what can be done differently? How can I maybe pursue this a different way? I think they said it was Thomas Edison that said that he didn't fail 10,000 times when he was creating the light bulb. He just figured out 10,000 ways that didn't work, but he persisted until he created what we enjoy now, which is electricity or a light bulb or one of those things, one of those great inventions that he made. So next, let's talk about some strategies that can help us learn from failure. First of all, we want to have a growth mindset. We want to know that failure is just sometimes a part of the process. And here's one of the key things that I have learned is that when you fail at something, that does not make you a failure. Don't take that on as your identity because that is not your identity. You are not a failure. The thing that you tried just didn't work. And now let's see if we can either find another way for it to work, or we can say, okay, well, that didn't work. Well, maybe there's something else I should do instead. So don't take on that identity that you're a failure because you're not a failure, okay? You're not a failure. Let me say it one more time. You're not a failure, okay? The thing you tried just didn't work. And the more that you can separate yourself from that particular incident or that particular occurrence, then the better it is. Do not take that on. That's when people struggle, is when they take that on as their identity. And again, you're not a failure. Just that thing didn't work and it's okay. Life's good. Also, we want to reflect and analyze what maybe didn't work. And by doing that, taking that time to reflect and say, okay, what did I try? And then looking at it from different angles and then analyzing it sometimes helps us to come up with an even better solution, or it tells us, okay, I need to try a different method, or it may even enlighten us and cause us to seek outside support from someone else who may have had experience and success in that particular venue or venture or whatever we're trying to accomplish. Or maybe even it'll lead us to further research in order to see what we can learn more. And sometimes it is a matter of just learning more. And as we learn more, we say, okay, I can try it again. I can do this. The third tip is to reach out for additional support from individuals, just like I just mentioned. Because when we reach out to others, whether it's reaching out via a book, you're doing a Google research, you're doing YouTube research, whatever the thing is that you're doing, you're trying to solicit additional information from other individuals who may have had more success or more experience in what you've tried to do, right? Or what you're trying to do. And so in having that additional support, then you can say, okay, well, this person has been at it for 30 years and they have learned this. So I'm going to take that into consideration when I attempt to do this thing the next time so that I can be either successful or more successful than the last time. So next we're going to go into our bonus content, which is how to help your team embrace failure whenever they have it so that they can move forward. But before we do that, let me ask you, when have you had to learn from a failure or a setback? And what strategies have you used to help you overcome that setback and help you to move forward? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know. Okay, so if you are leading a team, or if you have ever led a team, or if you will lead a team in the future, if you hope to lead a team in the future, one of the things I want to share with you is that you want to ensure that you create a safe space for your individuals on your team to be able to grow, to try things, to experiment, to try to innovate, because that is actually going to make your team and your organization more successful. And of course, there's some guidelines and stuff like that. Like, they can't take the whole company or organization off the rails. Like, that's not what we're talking about. That is not what we're talking about. But what we are talking about is being able to give people a safe place to try, and then also creating a safe environment where they feel comfortable with coming to you with their failures, because you do not want your team members hiding that they failed at something. You want them to say, hey, I tried this and that didn't work. Oh, okay. And let's talk about it, and you work through it. You want to have that collaborative environment. You don't want to have an environment where people are scared to try things, because that's not healthy. That's not healthy for the organization nor for the team. And you don't want, when they do try something and fail, that they feel scared. Like, they might not tell you everything, but you don't want it to be because they're fearful about what will happen. They may just forget, or they may just say, oh, it may not be that big of a deal. And if it's really not that big of a deal, then it's okay. So in this video, we talked about learning from failures. And if you want to hear about how I overcame one of the toughest times in my life, I want you to watch this video next. And this is one of my videos where I kind of get into a little bit more about my personal journey. And so I would love for you to take a look at that. And with that being said, make it a great day. Make sure you like, subscribe, all the things that YouTube likes, because I really like for my content to get out to the right people who are trying to have success in life and wanting to just do great things in the world. And I want you to do great things in the world. So with that being said, make it a great day.